The Gambians are heading to the polls tomorrow for the first time without former President Yahya Jammeh, who ruled the country from 1994 to December 2016 when he was defeated by Adama Barrow as a coalition candidate. As the campaign of political parties and candidates officially closed yesterday, what is IEC's impression about the political parties and their candidates throughout the campaign period? What message does IEC have for the candidates and their supporters ahead of the voting? What is IEC's level of preparedness? We asked Parmakan Khan, the head of training and communication at the Independent Electoral Commission IEC, as Gambians head to the polls tomorrow. Khan describes the just concluded presidential campaign as the most peaceful in the country's history.
The commission is indeed, was gratified about the conduct of the campaign. Absolutely, the campaign was very peaceful. I would say this is one of the most peaceful campaigns Gambia has ever experienced, because all the political parties and the candidates were given enough time to go around all over the country so that they can meet voters and they can talk to voters and they can convince the voters to support them and to vote for them. And in so doing, I think the parties also, I have to say, showed a lot of maturity, and also they showed a lot of collaboration between each other. Because most of the time, sometimes they even have issues among themselves. But of course, they will resolve these issues amicably among themselves. Of course, we know sometimes one or two parties may overstay their time. But then the incoming party at that venue would allow that party to proceed, once they are done, just to make sure that the process is very peaceful and orderly and organized. I think we have to commend all the political parties for that sense of maturity. And nonetheless, I know there were small hiccups here and there, but I think there was no major incident during the whole campaign process. I think this is commendable. Of course, we know this is Gambia. Gambia is a peace-loving country. The people of the Gambia are very peaceful. And I'm sure we have seen this during the whole campaign process.
Talking about the preparedness of the IEC, he says they are fully prepared and ready to conduct the election in a free, fair, and transparent manner.
I would say the IEC have now passed the period of preparation. Right now, it is in the phase of implementation. We are implementing the election now, the electoral activities, which of course started with the deployment of the polling staff. Right now, as we speak, in almost all the regions, all the polling staffs have been deployed to the polling stations. Also, in the same vein, all the polling materials and equipment are also deployed in most of the regions. I would say 6 of the regions. I think only Brikama is left now. Of course, we know Brikama is the biggest region now in the Gambia. And they have more number of voters and those more number of polling teams. But apart from Brikama, as we speak, all personnel, all equipment have been deployed at the polling station. So the commission is fully prepared. It is ready, and it will go into action on the 4th of December. That's tomorrow at 8 a.m. When we expect to start the polls by 8 o'clock in the morning, and this would last till 5 o'clock in the evening. So we hope Gambians will turn out en masse to come and vote for whichever candidate they have chosen to vote for.
The Commission's head of training and communication adds that they receive election observers both locally and internationally, which includes individual observers.
The IEC have been stormed with thousands of election observers, both international and local. I think this is the first time that we are seeing such number of observers that storm the country. We have thousands of observers across, coming from many countries, including and also many organizations, including the African Union, the European Union, ECOWAS, the Commonwealth, and also many other international CSOs. These are civil society organizations. And similarly, we have also a lot of Gambian CSOs, including the peace ambassadors including the WANEP, that's the network for West African Network, WANEP. And we also have the Gambia participates and a host of local or domestic observer missions as well. And also, interestingly, we also have individual observers. These are people who took it upon themselves individually as a person to come out and then to observe the electoral process of the Gambia. In this case, the presidential election, which I think is quite commendable. It means, all and sundry, are ready to participate in the process, as observers, as media, and also I would say many people have been really involved in this process.
Concerning the mechanism put in place by the IEC to ensure that persons living with disabilities vote without hindrance, PAR informs that the IEC has authorized their polling agents to give priority to the persons living with disabilities at polling stations across the country.
Commission also has some has make catering has catered for the PWDs. These are people with disabilities, people using wheelchair, people who are visually impaired, and even the albinos. So in this case, what the polling staff have been urged to make sure that these people, PWDs, are given priority whenever they arrive at the polling station. And that is to say that they must not follow the queue. They would be allowed to jump the queue so that they can just vote quickly and then go back to their houses. Of course, it also includes other categories of people in society. These include expectant mothers, the sick, the elderly, and even senior Gambians. So I think the Commission have provided adequate measures to make sure that PWDs are provided easy access at polling stations, like wheelchair users. Normally, it is advised that the polling stations should be located down floor. So we must not locate any polling station at a story building. So this will make it difficult for people using wheelchairs to access those polling stations. So I would say that I think across the country, all polling stations are at the down floor, that is on the ground, to make sure that anybody who comes with a wheelchair, you can easily access the place. And not only that, you'll also be given priority to vote quickly, and then you go back to your house. So I think the Commission have provided a lot of facilities to make sure that people with disabilities, are provided easy access to participate in the election.
When asked about the IEC measures in ensuring voters adhere to the COVID-19 protocols as the pandemic continues to hit the world, Mr. Khan had this to say.
I'm sure people have been following the media outlets on the radio, on the TV, on our billboards, and even on the WhatsApp and other social media platforms. The IEC really encourages the electorate to be mindful and then to protect themselves from COVID-19. In this vein, the Commission has taken measures to ensure that people remain safe when they visit the polling station, and also the polling officials also are safe. In this vein, the Commission had support from the Red Cross. The Red Cross would provide volunteers who would administer the hand sanitizers. And again, in our voter education campaigns in various media houses, we also urge voters to come to the polling station with a face mask, so that they wear a face mask when they come to vote. And again, once they arrive at the gate of the polling station or before coming into the polling station, their hands will be sanitized. And again, even the polling team, the same measures have been taken, so that each of the polling staff will be provided with a face mask, and also they will be using the hand sanitizers constantly throughout the whole process. And also we even providing gloves for them, hand gloves. These are surgical gloves, because of course we know they'll be handling a lot of voters' cards. So just to ensure that the polling staff also they remain safe and they are protected against COVID-19. So on that note, we just urge all Gambians, all voters to make sure that they cooperate with the polling officials, and also let them cooperate with the police, let them cooperate with the Red Cross volunteers, so that people can come safely and people can leave the police station safely.
Responding to the allegations leveled against the IEC that some of its staff are affiliated to a political party, Mr. Khan described those allegations as false and malicious, saying there is no staff of IEC who is affiliated to any political party in the country.
I would say somebody saying that IEC is aligned to a political party. I think this is the most ridiculous statement I ever hear as an electoral officer. I've been in IEC for decades, and this is the first time that I'm hearing such claims or such allegations. I would say these allegations are unfounded, and they are untrue, they are inaccurate, and malicious for that matter. I would say people working at IEC here, rest assured, they are neutral, they are all politically neutral. And one thing I have to say is that even the IEC code of conduct for electoral staff, that is the IEC staff, they are subject to a code of conduct which prohibits them from being partisan. So how can they align themselves with any political party or candidate? And again, I think what is most ridiculous is that IEC have been here for long. IEC have been holding elections since 1996, from PIC. Most of the staff you see here have been here for that long. And again, for all those about 2 decades ago, right, up till now, why in history they were not partisan at that time? Why now? So I would say these such statements are really meant to deceive people, to deceive the Gambians, and also these are malicious statements that have been uttered by people, I think, who are unrealistic. Absolutely. And again, if they have any evidence of anybody in IEC who is political, let them bring down the evidence. Action will be taken against that person. But I'm sure that nobody in IEC, belongs to any political party, because it is out of bounds for any IEC official, be it a commissioner, be it an electoral staff, must not and must never be part of any political group. They must never have any political affiliations. I think we have to make this point very clear. So those people peddling such rumors and making those statements, I think they are just doing it out of malice, and those statements are grossly inaccurate, and they are grossly misleading.
Meanwhile, Mod Diouf, Senior Program Officer of the Gambia Press Union, explains some of the roles they play to ensure that journalists are safe while covering election.
Safety is a priority for the Gambia Press Union. As you know, we are moving from, we're trying to focus more on the welfare of journalists, of which safety is a very important component of the activities that we do at the Gambia Press Union. During the course of these elections, prior to the elections, we've conducted a lot of safety trainings for journalists. But not only that, we have also been engaging stakeholders that we think play a crucial role in ensuring that journalists are safe or are able to execute their mandates without safety concerns. And this included a meeting we had with the Inspector General of Police, because we've seen that from 2017 to now, most of the attacks on journalists, verbal and physical abuses, were committed by security forces, mainly the police. So we've met the Inspector General of Police and discussed with him, raised our concerns on how we can address this, and I think it's paying dividends. Since May, we have seen little or no police harassment of journalists. I think that's a good thing. But also, we also engage political party activity, party leaders, and also activists. And we had safety engagements with members of political parties on why they need to respect journalists and ensure that they work, their supporters do not harass journalists while they are doing their job. And also because we have seen that during the past 4 to 5 years, some of the attacks on journalists, especially physical and verbal abuse, were coming from political party militants. But we also had engagements with also political party heads just last month, in order to try to reinforce this message of ensuring that journalists have a conducive environment or to be able to do their work during the course of the elections. So these are some of the steps that the GPU has been taking, and as we head to the elections tomorrow, we are also sharing safety messages for journalists. Despite the fact that we've trained some, we are sharing messages for journalists to be able to stay safe, while they are reporting on the elections and even after the elections.
Mr. Diouf urges journalists to verify information obtained on election day before publishing.
Tell journalists that they do their utmost to stay safe while they are doing their jobs. Let them avoid confrontations with security officers or polling agents or political party supporters or voters. Let them focus on the issue of the elections and report fairly and accurately. Let them not take sides, and let them not do anything that would make the electoral people to lose confidence in the electoral system. We should not be in a rush to break news to the fact that we spread fake news. So these are some of the things that I want journalists to do, and that they can utilize all the safety skills that we've shared with them, and try to make sure that they know where to go, where not to go, and what to do on the ground based on our own charter of ethics for journalists in reporting on elections, and also the guidelines or the code of conduct for media personnel that is on the Independent Electoral Commission's website.
6 candidates are contesting in this year's presidential election as the first post-Jammeh era presidential election. Reporting for Kerr, Fatou, I am Landin Cisse.